What really happened in Tokyo until Jungkook expressed his deep disappointment? Why did Taehyung suddenly change and want something that wasn't his? Is this the beginning of the split of two best friends who always look solid in front of the camera? This shocking fact not only made the ARMY dumbfounded, but also questioned, has HYBE been playing a bigger game than we thought? Jungkook Expresses Disappointment. What really happened to Taehyung in Tokyo? Tokyo, a city of light and dreams, suddenly turns into a place that holds dark secrets about the relationship of two of BTS's most beloved members, Jungkook and Taehyung. Who would have thought that the city, which is usually a place of escape for happiness, would become a silent witness to the rift that has been neatly hidden behind their smiles and jokes? That night, the cameras did not record anything. No V-Live, no fan cam, no media spotlight. But the whisper spread faster than the fire that grabbed the dry straw. Jungkook, who has been known as the Golden Magne, suddenly showed an emotional side that had only appeared behind the lyrics of the song. There was something he couldn't hide. Not because I'm tired, not because of a busy schedule, but because betrayed by someone so close to him. Taehyung, what exactly happened? The exclusive solo project HYBE gave Jungkook a few weeks earlier has been in the spotlight for many. A major work that is planned to be released globally, supposedly touted as a big step towards a full-fledged international debut. All preparations went smoothly. The best production team is assembled. Tokyo was chosen as the main location because the atmosphere is magical, full of history, and fits perfectly with the theme of Jungkook's album full of emotion and self-reflection. But before Jungkook could finish his final session, something happened. Taehyung came to Tokyo. Initially perceived as a sweet surprise. Even by the staff, V's arrival was greeted with laughter, warm hugs, and the notion that he just wanted to give support to his best friend. But it turned out to be not so simple. An internal source who did not want to be named stated that Taehyung submitted a proposal to HYBE just days before his departure for Tokyo. The proposal bore an uncanny resemblance to the project Jungkook was working on, from the visual concept to the narrative to the composers he was asked to collaborate with. Not a few say that this is not just a coincidence, it is the intention to seize. Why Taehyung? Why would an idol in Kim Taehyung's class, who has his own solo project and already made artistic achievements, suddenly want something that is not for him? Is it about confession? Or is there something deeper that has not been known to the public so far? Jungkook didn't speak right away. But his expression at the airport when he returned from Tokyo was enough to explain that there was a storm he had just passed through. His face was gloomy, his steps heavy, and the glare of his eyes, usually feisty, this time was like saving wounds. And the wound, named treason, a few days later, in a short interview originally designed for the promotion of his project, Jungkook surprisingly said the thing that left all fans glued in silence. Sometimes, what hurts is not a stranger, but the person you always believed in is by your side. And when they show that they want what is already part of your dream, you start to wonder, since when has everything changed? Is it about Taehyung? Is this confirmation that their friendship is no longer the same? Meanwhile, the HYBE party was silent. There is no official statement. There is no clarification. Even more clues that make the ARMY more upset. One of them is the change in the release schedule of Jungkook's project, which was suddenly postponed. Whereas before, the agency had released a short teaser with a set date. What the hell is going on? Taehyung himself, on the other hand, uploaded a series of black and white photos on Instagram with ambiguous captions. What looks is not always what it really is. That sentence, which looks poetic and mysterious, actually opens up more questions than answers. Does he feel innocent? Or is he trying to defend himself against accusations that he has not been able to answer? ARMY is divided. Some defended Jungkook furiously, deeming what Taehyung did was a form of overly aggressive ambition. Some try to be neutral, believing that there may be a misunderstanding. But the rest began to question whether BTS, which has been known for togetherness and brotherhood, is really still intact behind the stage. Did HYBE deliberately bang them for the sake of sensation? Is this a high-level game involving more than just two idols at odds? Or is this really the beginning of an irreparable rift? To be sure, Jungkook is now more cautious. It's not as open as it used to be. In some live, he is more silent. His smile is like trained and forced. Even in a short question and answer session, when asked who BTS member he has been chatting with the most lately, he only answered with a hanging sentence. I've been talking to myself a lot more lately. Sometimes, it's more honest than anyone. And that sentence, making thousands of comments, came up with a single word. Taehyung? The question is no longer about who is at fault. The question is, what really happened between them? Can a project break two hearts that have always seemed in tune? Or is the project just a symbol of a long-buried conflict? Some observant fans began to collect clues. The old photos are now back. Old videos showing their familiarity are played back with a suspicious look. At one of Japan's fancam concerts last year, Jungkook was seen turning to Taehyung and saying something that didn't sound clear. But Taehyung's expression changed instantly. Many now believe that the seeds of the conflict have already begun since then. Is this project just a trigger? Did HYBE know early on that there was jealousy between them? And if no, why do they continue with this scenario? Another painful fact emerges. One of the creative staff who previously worked for Project V resigned and stated in a personal post that he was disappointed with the decision taken by the label because they transferred important elements from Jungkook's project to be reviewed, at the request of another idol who feels more worthy. It didn't say who, but netizens immediately pointed to one name, Taehyung. Jungkook, in his silence, was like screaming, and Taehyung, in his mystery, is like keeping something that wants to be explained, but it's not time yet. Will they speak directly to the public? Will there be a moment of honest confrontation that has always been avoided? Or will everything be silenced, covered with new projects? And we will be asked to forget about these gaping wounds. Behind the glitter of the stage, behind the millions of dancing light sticks, there were two figures who were at a distance. And the most painful question for ARMY is this the end of Taehyung as we know it? The night sky was so calm. But there is a storm raging in Jungkook's heart. In a corner of a luxury hotel rented for the entire production crew, Jungkook sat staring at the visual script for his project. There are written the words that he himself invented, about gratitude, about growth, about irreplaceable friendship. But at that moment, all those words felt empty. There is only one thing that matters: betrayal, not from a stranger, but from someone he always considered his soulmate on stage. Taehyung, you may be asking, what does a project mean when compared to years of relationship? But it is precisely because of the proximity that the pain feels unbearable. Jungkook didn't fight the project because he felt threatened professionally, but because the people he trusted wanted something he knew had long been Jungkook's dream. Not just because this project belongs to Jungkook, but because Taehyung knows how important this project is to him. Jungkook had already spent long nights designing the details of this project. From the visual colors, to the orchestral accompaniment he was asked to do by a Japanese composer, to the daily notes he wrote himself as a narrative in his album, they are all extensions of him. But suddenly, Taehyung comes and wants the same thing. Hint never read. Since when did Taehyung feel marginalized? Many fans are now looking back, trying to understand where this conflict began. If Jungkook feels betrayed, could Taehyung feel ignored? Or shifted slowly? Since BTS has been going through solo projects, each member has had room to grow. But not all stages have the same light. Jungkook, with his golden voice and undeniable visuals, received tremendous attention from the international media. He is referred to as the breakout star. Many are starting to dub Jungkook the future face of HYBE, but on the other hand, Taehyung chose a more artistic path: film, jazz, fashion. But when he saw that Jungkook's project would bring BTS's Magne into an international solo icon, did Taehyung start to feel left out? Clues began to appear from Taehyung's behavior in recent interviews. When asked about his next musical plans, Taehyung replied in a cold tone, "I don't know if all the plans are for me, or just for a few people." The statement was considered sarcasm, leading to HYBE. But now, many are beginning to wonder, is it meant for Jungkook too? HYBE, silent witness or mastermind? Suspicion of HYBE began to grow. The fans began to question the motives behind all this. Did HYBE really not know that her two flagship idols were on the verge of conflict? Or do they see the potential of this tension and use it as a fuel drama that can attract public attention? A K-pop industry analyst who declined to be named said, "In the entertainment world, conflict is currency. Conflict sells. And if the conflict comes from T, let's go back to those moments that were once considered commonplace. A few weeks before the project exploded to the surface, Jungkook posted a close-up of himself under Tokyo's red lights, with a short caption, "Under the light, sometimes we can see the shadow of who is standing behind us." Initially, fans thought it was Jungkook's signature form of poetry or metaphor. But now, the meaning feels shaky. Did Jungkook feel that there was a shadow lurking in his project? Was that the beginning of his disillusionment with Taehyung? Some fans' comments even returned to the post and left tumultuous questions. Do you know when Jungkook? Did he already snatch before you could even step? Why have you been silent all this time? Even more surprising, after the project was announced internally in HYB circles, Taehyung immediately followed 3 fashion directors who had previously been Jungkook's co-workers on his visual project. Some people think it's a coincidence. But in a world as connected and personal as BTS, nothing is accidental. Hotel camera video leaked. Gestures that cannot be lied to a few days after rumors of conflict surfaced. A video cut from the hotel's camera showed 2 casually dressed figures walking down the hotel hallway. One of them looks like Jungkook in a black hoodie and mask. The other figure, with a distinctive hairstyle and posture, is thought to be Taehyung. In the video, it is seen that the two are walking in opposite directions. When they passed each other, Jungkook did not look up. Meanwhile, Taehyung paused for a moment, like he was about to say something, but finally just looked down and passed out. This brief, albeit blurry, snapshot was enough to spark huge speculation in ARMY circles. Restrained gestures. An unspoken view. Silence is more painful than 1,000 words. Was it their last moment before everything broke? Jungkook's secret letter to Taehyung? One of the things that most excited fans' emotions was the leak of a handwritten note allegedly written by Jungkook. In the piece notes written, "I didn't think you could be so cruel. I don't need an apology. I need a reason why you feel you have to step over me. We're not enemies, Tae. But that night, you make me feel alone where I believe the most." The letter was found in an internal documentation session that HYB has not released to the public, but was reportedly read by one of the staff. Was it really written by Jungkook? Or is it just part of a documentary narrative scenario designed for content? Regardless of the truth, the content of the sentence was enough to hit the feelings. Those words seemed to indicate a wound that had not yet dried, and a sense of loss that was too heavy to be borne by a man who had been known to be strong and dedicated. Taehyung's reaction: regret, defend yourself, or strike back? What about Taehyung? In his last post, he simply posted a picture of withered flowers on a Tokyo roadside with the caption, "The blooms are not always for us." But who has the right to decide that? Many interpret this as a defense. That Taehyung does not intend to seize, but only wants the same opportunity. But does he not realize that the opportunity comes with the risk of stepping on the dreams of those closest to his own? These questions now split the ARMY into 2 camps. Some felt Jungkook was truly a victim of injustice and betrayal. But there are also those who see that maybe Taehyung just wants to get out of Jungkook's shadow. He wants to shine in the same way, and if that path has to involve the same project, then it's a risk he's willing to take. But is it worth it to ruin their relationship? The ARMY shouted, "We don't want to vote. We want them back." Most heartbreaking are the voices of fans who feel trapped in the middle of the conflict. They love both. They cry not because this conflict is just a drama, but because during this time, BTS is a symbol of unity, brotherhood, and unshakable love. Don't force us to choose, HYB. We don't need a solo superstar. We need BTS together. If this is your way of selling stories, please bring back the man behind the scenes. Those voices echoed across social media. Online petitions began to appear, asking HYB to mediate and reunite the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung. Many feel that the company is too silent, and silence is tantamount to letting the wounds deepen.